Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I made a couple of videos a while back um, in response to the real markaba. Some videos, he made a series of videos on the truth about Islam. And I didn't watch all of them. I watched a couple of them. I think I watched the first two. And, you know, I made a little response. Well, basically, I was just talking. And in the comments of one of the videos that I made, someone left a comment the other day. He said that my video didn't have any substance, and um, you know, the real markaba, I guess he's supposedly bringing facts or evidence or whatever. You know, the real markaba, he's he's uh he's being very deceptive in his video. He's joining things that shouldn't be joined and linked. He's confusing different things together. You know, he's saying things that, listen, I replied to the person that made the comment, like, even if I gave you substance, you wouldn't understand it. You know what I mean? And I guess he took offense because he said, oh, you're so much intelligent, you know, this, that, the other. No, that's not the issue. It's the fact that, you know, there's just a lot of things, you know, unless you've studied certain things, if you haven't studied Islam in any kind of with any kind of seriousness, you won't get it. You know, you will not get it. You will not understand. Even if I give you the evidence, you won't understand. You know. Um, but anyway, in the second video, he goes into talking about the Punic Wars, which were the wars fought between the ancient Roman Empire and Carthage, um, Carthaginian Empire, which was basically North African, and also the wars fought between the Romans and the Persians, or the Sassanid Empire. Okay, and you know, the guy just gets a lot of things confused, and he joins things that are not that are not connected. Okay, um, and then he says things, and I have no idea where he gets some of the stuff from. Like, why would the Romans empower the Arabs to basically take most of their empire? Like, you have to understand that at the time, at the death of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in in Arabia, in his time, the Romans controlled all of North Africa and the Mediterranean. Okay, now they had fought the Sassanids, or the Persians, to a stalemate. Basically, they had fought for many years, drained their treasuries. They were, you know, they were both having hard times because of this constant warfare. Okay, so at the time when the Muslims came out of Arabia, okay, and conquered all of that area, took it over, um, you know, really, I think that, you know, basically, you know, the Romans and the Persians had fought each other so much. You know, they had spent a lot of money, a lot of blood and treasure in those wars. Um, at the end of the day, they probably just wasn't able to stop it. Okay, but why would the Romans empower the Arabs to do that? You have to understand that the Middle East and North Africa were controlled by Rome. Okay, aside from like Iraq, you know, which that was a part of the Persian Empire that was controlled by the Sassanids. Okay, so when the Muslims came out of Arabia, their armies defeated the Persians. They became a part of the Islamic State. Okay, but it also took all of that Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Egypt, North Africa. It took all of that from the Romans. So what did the Romans have to gain? What did the Pope have to gain by empower? See, this is the connection that he makes. He tries to say that the Romans or the Pope basically empowered the Arabs to do what they did. Well, why would you empower somebody that's going to take like half or more of your empire, of your territory, of your subjects, your taxable subjects? Why would you do that? That makes no sense. The Persians were done. They had spent everything pretty much in their wars with the Romans. They were no longer a threat to the Romans. You see, this is the kind of stuff like he sits up there in that video and he talks like he's all calm and oh yeah, if you don't listen to this video, it's just your arrogance, and if you're watching this video, you got doubts in your religion anyway, and this, that, the other. But when you sit down and if you really study these subjects and you really understand what he's see, it's easy to sit down and listen to him and think that he makes sense, you know. But if you don't go and look at this stuff in detail, yeah, it sounds good. But when you go look at the details, it doesn't add up. Like that makes no sense. Why would you willingly give up half or more of your territory, of your empire, of your taxable subjects, all, all of those rich lands from the Middle East, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Egypt, all of North Africa? Why would you give that up to a bunch of nomads, a bunch of camel herders? Why? What are you getting out of that? You're losing everything. Yeah, you're going to keep Greece. Maybe at that point, maybe Turkey on up into Europe. From Turkey on up into Europe, you're going to keep all of that. And you're not even going to keep it all permanently because in time, we're going to take Turkey and we're going to take Greece as well. Oh, and don't forget Spain on the other side. We're going to take that too. Really? You think that these people just going to willingly just let these nomads come out of the desert and take all that? Or you know, they're going to give it to them basically. Come on, man. It makes no sense. You know, if they had fought to a stalemate with the Persians, well, then both sides were tired of fighting. Why then at that point empower the Arabs to come and do what they did? You don't need to. The Persians are done. They're tired. They've spent all of their money. They've lost countless numbers of soldiers trying to fight you. You don't need the Arabs. Okay? Matter of fact, you control several Arab countries at that time yourself. Why are you going and bringing these nomadic peoples out of the desert to come and take over all of this territory? You see, I bet none of you people in the comments actually sat down and thought about this point. Y'all just big up, oh yeah, the brother got bringing receipts and this. Come on, man. Y'all think that they did this to open up Africa? The Romans were already in Africa. They defeated Carthage long before that. Okay? They had defeated Carthage. So what's the point? He's talking about opening up Africa to the slave trade. Well, you got to realize that long before Islam, the Arabs were already trading slaves. That was already going on. Okay? That was already taking place. So they didn't need the okay of the Roman, the Pope. They didn't need the okay of the Pope for that. They was already doing that. The whole world was already doing that anyway. When the Romans defeated Carthage, they destroyed it, they burnt the city, and they enslaved the inhabitants. Okay, this type of stuff was already going on, so they didn't need the Arabs for that. You know, so you know, the, like I said, he joins things that shouldn't be joined. He makes connections between the things that there's no connection. Okay, there's no connection um, between the Arabs coming out of Arabia and um, the Pope. You know, the Romans got their own thing going on. The Persians had their own thing going on. The Arabs had their own thing going on. Now, because the war between the Romans and the Persians had gone on for a very long time, they were both probably tired. They both had spent a lot of money. They both had lost a lot of soldiers. They traded certain portions of territory back and forth. Okay. By the time the Arabs came out of the Arabian Peninsula, I think both of those guys, meaning the Romans and the Persians, I think they were both tired, you know. And the Persians just went completely under and became a part of the Islamic State. But as I said before, everything that the Romans had from Syria all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, all the way to the over to North Africa, all of that, the Arabs took all of that. Okay, so what did they gain? What did the Romans gain? They didn't gain nothing. They lost. And those same Arabs eventually took Asia Minor, Turkey, eventually took over Greece, ruled Greece, sent armies all the way up into Austria. At the same time, took Spain all the way over on the other side of Europe. I mean, you guys got to analyze what these people are telling you, man. You know, you have to analyze. That's why I say sometimes, man. Even if if I give it to you, you ain't gonna understand it. He talks about Kufic and Arabic, and you just gotta know what he's talking about. Kufic is Arabic. You don't get it? Kufic is Arabic, but you let him tell it. Oh, all the oldest Qurans written is in Kufic. But, duh, Kufic is Arabic, but it is a particular style of writing Arabic, and there's a school of grammar called Kufic. Okay, I mean, but if you don't know, then you think he dropping some deep knowledge, some deep sour, man. He bringing receipts. Well, he ain't bringing no receipts, but you just don't have enough knowledge of the issue to understand that he's deceiving you. So, but yeah, I took a few notes as I was looking up these Punic Wars. Um, but yeah, um, hey man, I mean, what is what is it? What is it left need to be said? You know, that's basically what it is. But I wait the comments, man, because I want to see what people like really like. What it amazes me that y'all think this guy's dropping some deep knowledge, man. He ain't dropping no deep knowledge. He ain't even giving you really no real receipt. He tell you something that maybe to you sounds good, but if you don't know anything about the subject, then it sounds like he doing all this, but he ain't doing nothing. You know, I just it amazes me how people don't know anything about a particular subject, and then hear somebody talk, and they just oh man, he's deep. Oh, the brother got knowledge. Oh, this man, you gotta do your own thing, man. You gotta do some studying on your own, man. Like I said, the Romans lost everything from Syria all the way to North Africa. Everything, all of that. The Arabs took all of that. You understand? So what did it benefit Rome to empower the Arabs to take all of that territory from them, completely take over the Sassanid Empire, which is the Persians? They were utterly defeated. What benefit was it to Rome? It didn't benefit them at all. It makes no sense. You know, it makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, I might watch some other videos. I don't know. Because really, it's stupidity. It's a waste of time. And the star and the crescent, he was talking about the star and the crescent that was originally used by the clan, and the Shriners use it, and the Masons and all these people use the star and the crescent. The star and the crescent wasn't used until long after the establishment of Islam. That came later. I think the Turks, if I'm not mistaken, the Turks used that symbol, and they might have used it prior to Islam. But then when they came into Islam, they still kept using that same symbol. But that symbol prior to the Turks entering Islam, I don't think that was ever. I don't. I don't recall anywhere where that was ever actually a symbol. To be honest, that was used by the Turks, which they came much later. So in reality, Muslims have adopted this symbol, but it's not actually an Islamic symbol. It has become, you know, an Islamic symbol because Muslims used it over the years, but originally there's nothing about a star and a crescent. Okay, see all these books I got on this shelf here. All this here is Qurans, sayings of the Prophet, books of Islamic law, books of Islamic legal theory, um, history, the life of the Prophet. That's what all this stuff is here. Okay, and I've read most of these books. I've read more than this because I've had many books over the years that I've read. Okay, and there's nothing in those books about a star and a crescent. Like I said, now maybe some people came into Islam later and this was a symbol that they had before, and so they kept using it. Okay, and so people associated with Islam, but in reality, there's no star and a crescent mentioned nowhere in the Quran as far as it's not a symbol. It's not mentioned in the Hadith. You know, I mean, there's nowhere where this is stated as a symbol of Islam. Period. Like I said, as far as I understand, this was a symbol used by people in Asia Minor, and they came into Islam, and they kept using this symbol. That's it. That's all it is. So the fact that some rednecks in bumfuck Alabama decided to use that as a symbol for their racist clan organization, so what? They could take any symbol and use it. I mean, what does that mean? You understand what I'm saying? The star and the crescent are in reality not Islamic symbols, but because Muslims have used it, it has become that. Okay, but anybody could use it, you know. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to end this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.